Welcome to Payments Playbook, the show where we explore the strategies and systems that drive smarter payments, stronger cash flow, and more profitable business. Brought to you by Paylink, the business-to-business payment experts. Now let's dive into today's episode. For today's episode of Payments Playbook, we have Gerard with Interru. Welcome, Rick.
Hey, thanks for having me, Paul. I'm happy to be here for sure.
Rick, can you share a little bit about Interru and your role within the company?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm the founder and CEO of Interru. It's like a true interview without the E at the end of true. Essentially, the premise behind what we do is we're an AI platform that leads the interview process to ensure that people make decisions based on objective data as opposed to assumptions, bias, and personal motives. So we're an AI video interviewing platform.
Okay.
Yeah.
What made you think of launching Interru?
Yeah, it came down to a couple things. One, due to the fact that I don't scale, right? So I've been a headhunter for a number of years. I feel like I'm kind of unique in that the one thing that drove me nuts as a headhunter for a couple decades was the fact that when I could identify a great, talented person, but for some reason, sometimes the company didn't see it, or sometimes there's just all kinds of things that would happen in the interview process that might cause them not to see it as well. And I set out to solve that. So about 15 years ago, I created a methodology for interviewing, and then we rolled our platform around the methodology.
Very cool. No, I took a look at your website, and I'm very impressive.
Thank you.
So, launching the platform, what were some of the bigger challenges you faced when you first launched?
I mean, how much time do we have on the podcast? It's a startup, right? So, shoot. I mean, like, there's a challenge every day. First, it was, actually taking the idea of taking a methodology and building technology around it. I had a lot of challenges in really trying to get engineers to be able to kind of understand the process and why it was important that things run a certain way.
Sure.
So that was one of the biggest challenges right there. And then secondarily, we bootstrapped the company. So when you're trying to get a product out and you don't have a whole lot of money, not flush with cash,
That is a challenge, without a doubt.
for sure.
What is your target market, or what type of companies are you looking for the service?
What's unique about our methodology, and it's the higher OS method, is that we help companies to identify people who align with the core values of the business first, and those behaviors that drive those core values, and the skills second. We tend to work with a lot of businesses that are in the 10 to $250 million range, and they're in growth mode, and companies that are actually running on like EOS or some sort of entrepreneurial operating system or business operating system where core values really matter to the business.
Yep. Very, very cool. Right now, are you seeing any trends in the space right now as for hiring for the remainder of 2025 or going forward in the next year?
The trends that I'm seeing is that there's a couple things that like look, companies are not keeping up with AI as much as the candidates are. I see a lot of companies complaining about the fact that they get overwhelmed with bogus or bot candidates, AI driven like resumes, and essentially it's very easy for me to take your job description and my resume and feed it into chat gpt and say, hey, optimize my resume to make it past the AI screening filter at this company and get me an interview. And it does a pretty darn good job of doing that. I've heard a lot of chatter from a lot of different people in the recruiting industry that that's been problematic. And and the challenge that I'm seeing is that the AI tools that are being built for hiring are about resume screening, and the truth is, like, the resumes don't really matter that much anymore. They're almost obsolete because of the fact that, like, I can just stick it in chat.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. I actually did an experiment on that, and It was kind of scary.
I use ChatGPT every day right now, and Claude, the two AI engines that we use. And like I filter a lot of my content through there, and it comes up with much better stuff that I can do on my own, which is incredible. So, and it's done in less than a minute.
Well, the experience I've had with it is I usually have to dummy it down because they use bigger words than I know what they are, just to
Yeah,
make it
yeah,
sound like it's from me.
yeah. The key is that you actually have to be really good at writing the prompts or the instructions, and you have to be very deliberate on what your outcome that you want it to produce back, because it'll give you exactly what you ask for. But if you ask it to write at a fourth grade level, it'll write at a fourth grade level.
With your business model, how do you charge? Is it a subscription base or one off?
Yeah, we have a subscription-based model. Again, we target like companies that are usually hiring like 12 people plus a year. We do have a page grow model. So like, because we've had a lot of people that have approached us and said, hey, look, we're a small business. We're like 8 people. We're going to hire two this year. So we do have a model that like, you can pre-buy and use the platform for up to 4 interviews for a set price. But yeah, it's an annual subscription model. And we tie ourselves to we really don't care how many interviews you run. We just want to tie ourselves to the end result.
And are you pretty much United States?
We're primarily US right now, although we do have two companies that are offshore that are using us. We have one in the Philippines that's been using us for a few months. And we've got Yeah, we had another one that reached out to us.
How are you attracting new companies right now?
We build targeted lists. I have a pretty big network on LinkedIn, so I do a lot of content out through LinkedIn. Um, Luckily, I have a pretty decent sized podcast audience for my podcast as well. And we do a lot of driven marketing that drives us some leads. And then we do outbound email campaigning as well.
No, and actually, for the listeners, how do they find your podcast?
Yeah, so my podcast is called Higher Power Radio, and that's HIRE, Power, POWER, Radio, RADIO.com. It's play on words, obviously. It's not a religious show, it's about hiring.
All right, and if people want to find out more on Interru, or how do they get a hold of you? What's the best way to do it?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find me. I'm on LinkedIn quite often. So it's Rick, RACK. Last name is Gerard. If you are looking for people and you need help with job descriptions, we have a job description builder and some other really cool features. Um, I also am an author. I have a book called Healing Career Wounds, which actually talks about our methodology, so which is
Oh, very
a bestseller on Amazon as well.
okay. So they can get that book on Amazon.
Absolutely.
All right, very cool.